It all started and ended the day after I took my last final at community college. I was so nervous that I was going to fail this one class and wouldn't be able to receive my degree. Later that day, I was out at the pool at my apartment complex with some friends and roommates when I checked my phone and saw that I had passed my class. I got so excited that I told everyone we were celebrating because I was the last one to finish finals. It was 3 days before I got to walk and graduate with this degree, so I decided we should have some fun before we all went our separate ways. As it got later into the night, we decided not to go out and to stay in instead. We invited a couple more people over and continued with the night. Around 2 a.m., people started to leave and head to bed. The only people left were my 2 roommates, both of the people they were dating, and one other friend. We were still messing around, and because our apartment was on the first floor next to the pool, we went night swimming. As soon as we were done with that, I was ready to just hang out and stay in for good for the night. My roommates and the other friend all left to go somewhere else for a little while, which was fine. Nothing out of the ordinary for me to be home alone. I got some food and went to my room to hang out until they got back. The way my room was set up in our apartment, it was all the way in the back, farthest away from the front door and the patio door. My room was behind the kitchen, and you'd have to go through the whole apartment to get there. Because our apartment was in the front of the complex and near the pool, it was close to the front gate. At the time, the gate was left open because it was broken. I never had an issue with living this close to the front until this night. My room had one big window and you could easily see into my room when I didn't have the blinds or curtains shut. I had a closet with mirror doors, which meant that if you looked in through the window, you could see every part of my room reflected in it. While I was waiting for my friends to get back, I fell asleep. The last time I looked at the clock, it was 3:30 a.m. Also, a key part of the story, my bedroom light was on when I went to sleep. The next time I woke up, it was around 5:30 a.m. There were slow flashes going off. It was like I had a strobe light going off in the corner of my room. I woke up really confused and thought it was my friends coming back to mess with me. Once my eyes adjusted more, because the room was now dark, I realized that it was in fact not my friends messing with me, but a single man who was at least 6'1", wearing a green Nike hoodie with the hood up. He was in the corner of my room by my closet, holding a phone up and taking pictures of me. Mind you, I had tiny sleep shorts on with one of my legs hanging out of my covers. I don't think he realized I'd woken up, and when reality sunk in, I said,
What the fuck?
Instead of coming at me or running out of my room, the man put the phone down and walked out of my room, not saying anything, not in a panic, just walked out. Me being the dumbass I am, I ran after him saying,
Hey!
I tried to follow him out, but once I got to the front door, I didn't see him anywhere. I ran back inside, woke up all my roommates, and I asked if they were messing with me. When they said no, I called the police. I looked around my room and saw that the only thing missing was my laptop that had been on my desk in the far corner of my room. The weirdest part about that was the fact that my laptop was in the farthest part of my room, with my door closed, and yet outside in the kitchen on the counter were 3 other MacBook laptops, 2 wallets, and at least a $300 speaker. But the only thing missing from the whole apartment was my laptop. Later on, I found out that the front door and the patio door were never locked when everyone got back, and that the police couldn't find the guy or my computer. What made things worse was the SD card from my camera was in the computer, so all my personal photos from that camera were now accessible to this guy. Some things I saw a couple days later while I was getting ready to move out freaked me out even more. Like I said earlier, if you looked in my window, you could see my closet mirrors and see just about my whole room. One thing that was super noticeable was my tapestry. It was a very distinct and different kind of tapestry. It had 2 wolves howling up at a moon and was all black and white. One day when I was packing my car, I happened to look up. It was starting to get dark, and as I looked up, I noticed in the apartment above mine, through the blinds on the wall, was the exact same tapestry as the one that was in my room. What creeped me out even more was the fact that I had little purple lights on mine from my mom, because she knows my favorite color is purple. And in that room above, the lights in the fan were switched out for purple ones. As if I wasn't creeped out enough, an all-black cat came up to the window, and my stomach started to feel weird, because the year before, while I was still living in my room, I had gotten a baby kitten that was all black. In the end, the guy was never found, and I never saw his face, which freaks me out to this day. I hope I never come across him again. I never got my laptop back and never found my SD card from my camera. My best advice to anyone in a college town is, no matter what, always lock your doors. You never know what you could wake up to. Back when I was in high school, my best friend and I would basically hang out at school together because her dad was the warden of the local prison, and their house wasn't even half a mile from it. Her mom was judgmental and a bit hostile. It was the attitude more than anything that kept me from hanging out over at their house. She was a woman you didn't mess with. One day, my friend said her mother came home white as a ghost the night before, because when she and her friends had come out of the grocery store halfway to her car, they stopped and noticed someone in the back seat. She thought it was my friend, her daughter, but as she stepped closer, she saw that it was an elderly woman. She started to go to the car, but her friend stopped her and said that the lady probably got off the bus from the assisted living center and she had better call the police and let them handle it. Well, she did, and the police were there within minutes because they were practically around the block. The police car pulled up and she pointed to her car. The officer walked up to the window and she watched as the officer snatched the door open and literally yanked the old woman out and pushed her against the car and frisked her. My friend's mom was so horrified until the officer snatched the wig off of a man's head. She was frantic now because if it hadn't been for her friends, she said she would have gotten in her car and offered the old lady a ride home. Who knows what that psychotic man would have done to her? This just goes to show you that you should always check your back seats. This happened last year when I was 15. My friend Kate and I were messing around in our neighborhood one day. We were on the side of the road playing with sparklers and other stuff like that. Suddenly, Kate told me to turn around and look behind me. I did, and when I looked at the home behind us, I saw someone looking through the window. A man. I couldn't really tell what he looked like, so I just ignored it and turned around. A few minutes later, Kate said to look again. I did, but this time there was a woman with him. They were both looking out the window. They were just staring at us, and I began to feel uneasy. Again, I turned around and ignored them. As the sun went down, I walked back to my house, which was across the street, and Kate went to hers, which was a few blocks away. A couple hours later, at around 10 p.m., my phone lit up. I was watching Orange is the New Black, so at first I ignored it. Then I got another alert, so I picked up my phone and looked at the screen. My two alerts were from Snapchat. Someone had added me, and their username was something like Jaden with a few numbers after it. Then they sent me a picture. I waited until the episode was over to open it. It was a black screen with a message saying, "Hey." I ignored that message. Around 6 or 7 minutes later, I got another Snapchat from the same guy. This time it was a black screen saying,
"Why didn't you answer?"
Again, I ignored the snap and went back to Netflix. When my phone buzzed again, I didn't look at it. Throughout the episode, I got 4 or 5 more alerts, and I ignored all of them. Then I fell asleep. When I woke up the next morning, I had 11 alerts. Most of them were black screens saying things like,
"Why aren't you answering?"
or,
"I know you're awake. Answer me."
but the last one freaked me out. It was a picture of my house taken from across the street with a caption that said,
"Answer me now."
I was stupid, so I didn't screenshot the pictures, but I did block him. I didn't hear anything for a few days, but then I got another alert that someone else had added me on Snapchat. It was the same username as before, but with a 1 after it or something. Then I got sent multiple snaps. I didn't open any of them because I was in class. 4 hours later, I checked my Snapchat. All the pictures he sent were pictures of me. Some were taken during lunch, and some were taken when I was walking home from school. Again, I blocked the user, but I didn't get any screenshots. Last night, I got a snap of my window, again taken from across the street, from the same user, but this time with a 2 or a 3 after it. I told my dad and he freaked out and called the police. When they arrived, I told them everything, but they couldn't do anything since I didn't take any screenshots. I don't know what to do. Update. I deleted my Snapchat, but he's found me on other social media platforms. I've blocked him on everything, and I'm thinking about deleting everything. Wish me luck. I just want this nightmare to end.